So what is it? Is it carnivore, vegetarian, vegan, omnivore? What is the best diet for us human beings? And I know there's so many labels, knowledge, wisdom, techniques, opinions are being shared out there that, let's be real, guys, it is very easy to get overwhelmed and swayed away. Yeah, with all of this information that is being shared and put out when it comes to the right diet for human beings and how we should be eating or how we shouldn't be eating, that it is easy to get lost. So in this video, I'm gonna share how I personally went from omnivore, meaning eat anything, to being a fruitarian. And I'm going to share with you why, the reasons, and my journey, how I was um, moving on this journey and realizing what works for my body and what doesn't. And most importantly, I'm going to be sharing not from like a mainstream traditional health nutrition point of view, a little bit of that as well, but we're going to be really looking at the energetics and understanding the human body better, and also the frequencies and how all of that coincides and um, works together. So hopefully after this video, you're not gonna need any other health and best diet advice, and you're gonna be able to move forward from a place of centeredness and inner alignment when it comes to your health and what should you be eating. Now, a quick disclaimer, it's not a health advice. I'm not a qualified doctor. So please, all the information and opinion that in perspective that I share in this video, please take what resonates, leave out what doesn't, but always also take it with a grain of salt. And I trust that, people that are watching my videos are, mature, grown up adults that don't just trust blindly any all the information shared on the internet, in the books or whatever articles, and you can think for yourself. I'm gonna share about my journey so you can understand a little bit better of my background, my experiences on this journey. But we're also gonna talk about what is it the best diet. We're gonna be comparing different ways of eating, and we're going to be talking about the most important, why people fail to shift when they want to make a change in their life, and how you can move forward and how you can integrate and take this all of information moving forward. Again, this video is not to teach you or to tell you this is the only way of being, then this and this is how you should be eating. Like, I'm not here to prove anything to anyone, and I truly, on a personal level, I don't care what you're eating, what you're putting in your body. It's your temple, and it's your responsibility to be taking care of it. All I want to share here are perspectives, um, from a higher consciousness point of view, not just on the physical level, but what's happening on emotional level, mental level, spiritual frequency levels, when it comes to consuming food and putting something into your body on a physical level, right? So that then you can make your own conclusions and decide what's best for you. As I said, as I mentioned, I went from being an omnivore most of my life to being a fruitarian now. So I know there's a lot of labels. What is omnivore? Omnivore is pretty much what the majority of humanity is right now. Omnipresent means everything, right? So omnivore is pretty much you eat whatever you want. Me, I grew up in Latvia, born and raised in Latvia, northern Europe. So it's pretty much cold. There's no many fruits or things growing here. It's pretty cold most of the year, except summer. basically I grew up on meat and potatoes, some spaghetti, buckwheat, rice, but it was pretty much like, I wouldn't say it was unhealthy diet or a unhealthy way of eating. Um, Latvian culture is also where have developed dairy industry, but looking back now with the knowledge and the awareness I have, it was pretty much a pretty dense way of eating, right? Like if you look at it, there was not much vegetables or many fruits incorporated. And how all the way can I go from that to fruitarian? So those of you who do not know fruitarian, the answer is literally in the word fruitarian. So fruitarians are mainly and mostly eating fruits, right? Uh, in all honesty, for me, I'm not ever, I don't live in a black and white world, right? I'm not that radical in a sense. I'm always living in unity. So I always listen to my body. And depending where the environment I'm in, I will be either predominantly vegetarian or the maximum I can go, if I'm getting off the chain is to a cooked vegan. So vegetarian, so there's like cooked vegan, raw vegan, and fruitarian. Fruitarians are mainly consuming just fruits and like nuts and seeds. Most of my journey, like spiritual awakening journey, began in 2017 when I left Latvia, and I moved to Australia. I've been in self development, teaching myself about all the law of attraction, listening to Bob Proctor, understanding human behavior since the age of 13. However, it was like the linear traditional self development, non awareness of the actual energetics and fabrics of reality. Now, it's a long story, so I'm not going to be going into details, but um, I moved to Australia to study as a personal trainer, fitness trainer. So a little bit of my background, if you're first time, I forgot to introduce the channel. So welcome to the channel if you're first time here. My name is Kristina Day. Um, but a little bit of my background. It's not something that I actively do, but I have education in the fitness industry. I'm neo-shamanic a healer, so I really always blend the two worlds together, the physical and the energetical, because the reality I live in is not the one, oh, there's something physical and that's it. I always look first. I know we are living in the vibrational reality, and it's the vibrational reality where the root of everything begins, and then it grows into the physicality, right? So, as a neo shamanic healer, I know to be true that it's not that human body has the aura and our light body, but it's the aura or our light body from which our physical body grows, right? So if we want to change something, or if we are experiencing something on a physical level, first and foremost, it has to have a root on an energetical level. Physical cannot just exist if there wouldn't be energetical frequency in our energetical field first. And it's same applies to everything, like this crystal, right? it like it is made out of the same things that my eyes are made. It's quantum particles that are just vibrating at a different frequency, at a different speed. This is why it's more harder than my eyes, and it's different color, different shape, form. It's all just frequency. So just wanted to give you that understanding. So this is how I view reality and how I mold it and I shape it, and you know this is also what I realized, and health and my physical journey and my eating way have been a big realization pathway to come to this level of consciousness and realization. So when I went to Australia, when I moved to Australia, that was January 2017. I was omnivore, which is I just moved there to study as a fitness trainer. Um, and back in 2017, I don't know if Latvia didn't have it or I was just ignorant and not aware, but I didn't know what quinoa is. I didn't know what chickpeas are, So I come to Australia, which is, as a country, it is way more developed and people are more open minded and so on. But I discovered all of these things like quinoa and chickpeas and lentils and all of the abundance of fruit and vegetable. So natural, I loved always cooking. So naturally, I started to experiment with different things and watching Australian like food influencers, fitness influencers, um, and yeah, I also started to experiment with some meat like kangaroo meat. Um, I've tried beef, I think, for the first time because in Latvia we mainly eat pork. Uh, and long story short, I remember when I tried beef for the first time in Australia, and then made some. I don't remember what was it like. I forget the name, but sorry. Um, I put what I made into the fridge, the leftovers, and the next day I open it up and I just see how much freaking fat there is. Like you cannot see it when it's like warm, and I was like, yeah, this is disgusting, I'm not eating it. So long story short, over the 2 years that I lived in Australia, I studied as a fitness personal trainer. uh, I gradually decreased the amount of meat that I was consuming. So I went quickly to not eating pork, not eating beef, not kangaroo, like no red meat. I went to chicken, and then I went to being pescatarian. Pescatarian means you eat also fish. Um, and I just want to say that it was actually me studying as a fitness trainer that was my pathway, kind of the door that opened my eyes how screwed the industry, the nutrition and the fitness and the pharmaceutical industry is, like the health industry that teaches you to consume all of this supplements and so on, how hand in hand it's working with medical um, industry to give us drugs, and how hand in hand it works with you know other industries to tell, okay, you have a problem, here's a solution, and then that solution creates you more problem, okay, here's a supplement, okay, this, and you know and it's like never ending story. So that was part of my awakening. I never intended to be even vegan or even vegetarian. Like the first time I heard about vegans was probably in 2016 when I was in Latvia, and when I think it was my mom that said something about vegans to me, and I was like, how the hell, like, if you if you don't eat animal products, what do you eat? How do you exist? Because I was living on meat, potatoes, and dairy. I literally had no idea that there's such an abundance of fruits and vegetables and legumes and all of those things, and how you can nurture your body on plant-based diet. I had no idea. So yeah, I just want to quickly share, some realizations of why I, let's say, stop eat chicken. I remember that really clearly. I made like this chicken breast with spinach and cheese, and I thought, oh, it's gonna be so good, So I'm sitting down in my kitchen, and there's like I'm sitting next to the table at a table, and then there's a glass door that goes into our backyard. And I literally, kid you not, I remember I'm taking a bite, and all of a sudden, it's like this. I'm feeling like a cloud, like a bubble of light of energy comes to me. And first and foremost, I feel the pain of that killed bird, and I almost choked on that chicken in my mouth, and I almost started to cry. And I feel from this energy that I described to you, I hear the voice coming to my head, like, why are you eating this? Do you really? Does does your body really needs it? And I just turn my head with my mouth full, and I look into my reflection in that glass door, and I'm like, what? Like, why am I doing this? So it was a huge moment of realization and awakening for me when I started to actually feel the energy of 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 what I'm consuming. So that was like in one moment. That said, done. I'm going vegan because I never really ate what's called eggs. I was always disgusted by eggs. I was always disgusted by meat when I was a child, but I didn't know that there are other ways of being, of eating, right? So I went pretty quickly vegan, like, day and night, because of my inner communication and my body telling me what's right or what's not right for me. So I just wanted to share that for me, I never went on the path of listening to somebody else, but just me. And that being said, this is the best diet. The best diet is the one that is a match for where you at now. In my humble opinion, there's no one that is able to tell you what is best for you right now, where you're at, considering your belief system, your emotional state, your level of consciousness, and most importantly, how clogged up or how clean is your physical body, aka vessel. Because depending on all of those factors, and also really depending on your DNA, which also can be reprogrammed and rearranged, perfect diet will be different for everyone, right? So, long story short, I right now I am fruitarian, and this is again something that naturally I went from vegan to raw because my body was giving me symptoms. It was communicating with me. Okay, you're bloated, Kristina. You're doing intermittent fasting. You are vegan. You're never smoke. You're not consuming alcohol. You're not consuming sugar. Why? There's something wrong with my body, right? So on my path, I did a lot of cleanses, dry fastings, coconut water fastings, colon cleanses. I actually started to do it in 2018. No, 2020. In 2020, yes. And after that, my psychic abilities came online. Actually have a full separate video on the benefits of cleaning your colon and removing mucus plaque and how it can serve you on physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual level. So I'm gonna link it up here if you want to watch it. Um, highly recommend cleaning your colon. It's going to be life changing if you really stick to it. But I was listening to my body, and at some point I was vegan for many years, but it was 2 years ago that my body started to indicate, Kristina, it is time to move forward. That even cooked vegan food, and I never consume like processed vegan stuff. I always like whole food diet. So at some point, I realized that even the vegan food is dead food. And if you ask me, there's either diet that is full of life force energy or full of death. Vegan diet is kind of in between because it doesn't have that so much frequency of death as the meat has. But it doesn't have the life force energy anymore because when we cook food, we kill it. We destroy the amino acids and we destroy also the life force energy. That's why cooked food is like, it, it, it loses its form, it loses its vibrancy. So naturally, my body started to learn how and transition into fruitarian diet. And it wasn't easy, and part of the reason I was able to make the shift is because of the colon cleanses that I continued doing. Now, let's wrap up with me, but I will tell you that being a fruitarian is my conscious choice because this is how I my body feels the best. I thrive physically. I have the most amount of energy I've ever had. My creativity is through the roof. I just have more life force energy. That's one. Two, I have cleared my body enough to become a more clear vessel of light, right? To receive the infinite information, um, to receive that, to anchor that, to use it for my life, for my creations, but also, uh, once you start to consume the diet that is more light in the energy, you also start to become more attuned, more sensitive. Your psychic abilities start to open up because you don't hold so much density in your vessel, not on physical, not in emotional, not on mental levels. You take out the death frequency, which, the meat is basically a full, is, a piece of steak, whatever, is just a container of inflammation that holds the frequency of death. It's full of microparasites and small eggs and whatnot that animal had in it, and we're just consuming it. So we're consuming the frequency of death, and at this point, for me, who's so in tune and so sensitive to energies, it's very easy for me to spot somebody who's a carnivore and somebody who's a vegan, because even if it's a spiritual person but they're a carnivore, they can they don't even need to open their mouth. For me, like, it's just their field is more dense, their body is more inflamed, and it's just the overall frequency that you can pick up from them that is heavy, that is kind of weighing on them. Where vegans and fruitarians and so on, I just sense that it's more open energy, it's more receptive, it's more light. There's more fast-paced energy running through them. It's not, a judgment or whatever. It's just something that once you start to open up your vessel, you become more aware and or able to pick up the subtle frequencies in the field, in other people and things, right? Why I'm sharing this is that nothing is linear. It is important that you learn how to listen to yourself, and if you consume some external information, take what resonates on specific part of your journey you are right now, and apply it and test it on yourself, experiment and listen to your body. Because you know so many people are chasing the answers in the external world, thinking the external world has the answer, when no one, no book, no doctor, or your mom is not capable of telling what is the best for you on your individual journey where you're at right now, except you, except your body. So if you want to consult with your higher self and with your spirit team and your body. So let's just go quickly over what is the best diet. Is it carnivore, herbivore, frugivore? And I just want to drive this differences. So carnivore is basically, a lot of people right now are eating animal organs, heart, liver, whatever, and they're calling themselves proudly, I'm carnivore. And by all means, if that's who you are, again, no judgment, but I do think there's a lot of delusion um, in that industry, because a lot of people start to compare themselves with cats and dogs, and that we're naturally carnivore. The thing is, I saw interesting post the other day which actually talked about carnivores. And carnivores, if you look at the carnivores in the wild, it's like a lion. If carnivore is someone who kills and eats the fresh uh, fresh flesh of the prey, with all the guts, with all the blood, right? Do humans do that? Not really. People are, the ones who are eating those organs or steaks and whatever, it uh, the meat have been killed days, if not weeks ago, um, and it's not fresh anymore, and there's no guts and there's no blood. Maybe some people eat blood, but at the end of the day, it's not. You're not a lion. You're not a carnivore, and if you are, there was this name that was called used at first time I heard it. I wrote it down. It's called necrovore. I've tried to look it up, but basically, necrovore is someone who is eating like dead meat, but that's not fresh. That's already have been, um, yeah, taken some time to start what's called the process of degradation. So yeah, I don't think that humans are not carnivores. And if you look at our biology, we're not our gut system, our pH of our saliva, our pH of our gut system is not one of carnivore. It's also not one of herbivore. Herbivore are like horses, cows who are eating grass. Um, we are, if anything, doesn't matter what you eat, humans are frugivores. Frugivores are like monkeys, by the biologically, we're most similar to monkeys, right? How we consume the enzymes that we have in our saliva to break down the food, right? So even if you eat meat, it doesn't change that you are frugivore, like by nature. You can be fruitarian, you can be vegan, you can be whatever you're eating, but frugivore is kind of the type of the humanoid, of the being, right, of our digestive system, which I think is to be correct. Again, if you want to go and do a better research, please do so, um, and trust your own gut. The thing is, so carnivores are basically eating meat. Vegetarians, omnivores are eating everything what they please. Vegetarians are not consuming meat, but they still eat eggs, dairy. Vegans are not consuming any uh, animal-based products, but they still might be cooking with the food. Raw vegans are not cooking their food; they're eating it raw for the life force energy that is preserved in the raw food. I strongly believe that the only way who's actually cooking and making our food is the sun and the water and the soil. That's the real chef. Otherwise, we're killing the food, we're killing the life force energy, we're destroying it. And this is why so many people, they are getting sleepy, they're getting tired after they eat cooked food, because the cooked food takes more energy away from the body in order to digest it, rather than it gives you the life force energy. And fruitarians are mostly, yeah, eating nuts, seeds, and fruits. Because yes, for me, it's really easy on digestion, it's quick to digest, and I get so much life force energy. There's no like starches like in potatoes, so it's just, for me, it's amazing. A lot of people, say, yeah, but look at our ancestors. Our ancestors ate meat and potatoes, blah blah blah. For me, this is part to be true and part to be not true, because our ancestors had no choice. I do believe in the theory that we originated closer to the equator, where it was nice and warm and there was abundance of fruits. But then humans started to migrate towards the north, where there were no fruits and we had no choice but to kill and to eat the meat. So for me, even if it's correct that our ancestors ate this way, I also want to, bring to your attention, our ancestors also lived in a cave. Our ancestors also lived in very big poverty. Was it the reason for you to go and live in a cave and be in poverty? No. Now we have resources, now we have knowledge and awareness to do better. So please don't use it as an excuse. Oh, our ancestors that were this way. If you want to live as your ancestor, please do. All I think is that it's time for humanity to really educate ourselves on a energetical level and do better, make a better choice, and raise our level of consciousness, not just use it as an excuse to stick to what's comfortable. Also, what's important to understand, and guys, I'm kind of rushing through because I could speak just on every single piece as a separate video. If something sticks out to you, please let me know in the comments, and I'll go deeper because it's been part of my journey, but I never really shared it online. What's really important and to understand that you might think you are in charge of your body, but it's actually not. You might think that you crave meat, you might think you crave sugar, but it's actually not. It's not you, it's not your body, but it's little organisms and little parasites that live, that found home in your body, that are craving it, that are energetical match to it, and that are sending signals into your brain, making you think that this is what you are thinking and what you are wanting and what your body needs, when in reality, it's the parasites. So I cannot stretch enough the importance of cleansing your body, cleansing your gut, cleansing, like we do all the spiritual work, but the physical vessel matters as much, because if you're carrying parasites, frequency of death, and densities in your body, no freaking way you're going to be able to develop your psychic abilities. No freaking way you're going to be like, of course you will, but it becomes so much easier, so much more effortless, and so much like I just cannot describe the level of expansion and awareness and sensibility, and that extra perception, how it develops when you become lighter, when your physical body becomes lighter. So please do educate yourself and start discerning what is you and what are your parasites asking. Because once you clean, I haven't met a person who really have done cleansing on physical, emotional, mental, energetical levels, really stuck to it, and they choose to eat death. I haven't met a person. I have met people who are trying to cleanse themselves, they fail, they give up, and they go back to the comfort of eating of junk, processed food, meats, dairy, because their parasites won, right? They they didn't, like, I literally have stories of my friends who gave up middle of cleanses, and because they weren't able to handle the detoxification symptoms. And let's talk about why do people fail. And there are multiple reasons. People start shifting their diet and something doesn't work, and they're like, oh, veganism is not for me, vegetarianism is not for me, I cannot be vegetarian, whatever. It's too hard, my body feels malnutrition, I cannot build muscle, yada yada yada. And to me, this sounds like that there's not enough education or awareness that the person has about the natural detoxification processes that needs to take place and are taking place when you need to shift, and their belief systems, right? So if you want to make a change, it's not enough to just change physically what you eat. You need to change your belief system. You need to cleanse the emotions that are still stuck in an energetical match to the dense foods you're choosing to eat. And you need to cleanse your physical body. The reason why so many people fail when they start to shift, let's say, to veganism, they feel really tired. They feel they don't have nutrients enough. As one, their belief system does not match. right? There are literally people who believe so deeply, they have been brainwashed so deeply that you have to consume meat in order to survive, in order to build muscle. So, of course, if that's your belief system, when you stop eating meat, what your body is going to be manifesting, it's going to start feeling weak, it's going to start to lose muscle. I literally know people like this. Is it because the diet is not for you, or because your belief system is manifesting this? Maybe you have a belief system, oh, I can be fine on meatless diet, and you stop eating meat, but you still feel like shit. Why this is happening? Because you haven't cleansed your physical body. When I talk about parasites, right? So this is why it's so important to do a colon cleanse and cleanse your gut. Because if you have consumed acidic based diet, which is coffee, oats, sugar, or meats, antibiotics, alcohol, whatever, look at the alkaline versus acidic forming foods, your gut naturally creates a mucus plaque as a defense mechanism to protect the gentle, the tender colon and gut of yours. And over years, it just accumulates and creates this thick, rubbery layer over your colon, which one serves as a home for parasites and densities and eggs and all of those things. And two, it layered your colon so well that the doesn't matter what you're eating, the actual nutrients and vitamins and minerals are not able to get through your colon walls of your colon into the bloodstream. So it's not you who are receiving the vitamins, it's parasites that are eating all the minerals whatever you're consuming if you're following a good diet. Right, so many people like, oh, I cannot sustain this, so they go back to eating dense foods, because at least then that density is still a match to them, and from the very dense food they at least can pull out something. But the key here will be to actually cleanse your body first, or gradually, right? And gradually shift your diet to be able to release the density and the mucus plaque and the clogged up shit from your body, and start introducing more fiber, more vitamins, more minerals, more color, more life into your gut, into your system, right? We are taking shower hopefully every day, but most people are not washing their gut. And there are some doctors, medical industry saying mucus plaque doesn't exist, yada yada. Of course, first of all, they are not aware of this because the medical industry doesn't want you to know about it, and they want you to keep asleep and continue feeding your shit for their profit. So but for me, I saw it with my eyes, and if you want to see it, you can watch my colon cleanse video. And I experienced tremendous shift in my life after I did it. My psychic abilities came online. My skin cleared up. I started to feel better, vibrant, and it started to become easier to manifest what I want, because I consciously now can manipulate, change my frequency instead of being a dense, heavy body, right? So one thing to really note, if you are making a change, if you want to make a change, please educate yourself on the natural healing and clearing processes that take place in a human body when you start to detoxify, when you start to introduce a cleaner diet into your body, into your life. Because so many people take the clearing symptoms, the detoxification symptoms as, oh my God, I'm feeling bad. Of course, you will feel bad. Of course, all the toxins, all the mess that has been locked in your cells for decades are finally, your body is finally not busy with processing all the crap you have been eating. It starts to relax. The cells start to open up. The fat that was holding the toxins in the cell, protecting it so that it doesn't enter the bloodstream, now it's like, oh, I start to relax. I start to feel safe. We now have the capacity to deal with all of this fucking mess. And it enters your bloodstream. You get dizziness, you get weakness, you get tired, you feel sick. You feel sick not because the diet is making you sick, but because you consumed so much crap in your life before that, that now it is time for your body to release it. And instead of allowing your body to do what it knows how to do, we are literally programmed to heal. We are shutting the process down, and we're going back into eating more toxins and density and death. So it's really important that, one, you understand what's going to be happening, what is happening, and you're not stopping the process. Two, that you are prepared for the process. So many people, because they don't have awareness of what is going to be happening with their bodies, and what it's really taking to clear your vessel, they jump right into it, like, and have no preparation, no support, no capacity to actually hold so much toxins all at once. Right? For me, before I started to do colon cleanses, I've been doing intermediate fasting for years. I've done dry fasts. I've done all sorts of things. Um, so my body already knew and have released incrementally some toxification from my body. So when I started to do first colon cleanses, the first year you do 4, next years you do one a year. The first 2, I thought I'm gonna die. I'm not gonna lie. It was so hard. Now I do a colon cleanse. I'm like, it doesn't make a difference for me because there's not much toxins in my body anymore. Right? So please do educate yourself, and please do prepare, physically, mentally, emotionally. Create safe environment. Communicate with your family members that this is the process and the journey you're choosing to go through and on, of clearing and what might be happening to you. Right? So if you've never done any cleanse, and you decide to go on a cleanse, well, make sure that you don't have to be at work doing some heavy stuff, and you will have the space to take care of yourself, right? Or maybe you work from home, so that's easier. So that's that. um Again, belief system is a huge. I did a lot of work on myself when I was doing colon cleanses, that when I go into colon cleanse, I literally speak with my belief systems, with my mind. I work with the energetical field of intelligence, that right now we're shifting, where we're drawing the energy from, that we're not anymore drawing the energy from the food. uh, and I was telling my body, if you want, you can recycle the fat and drive the energy from there. But also, we're driving the energy from the energy field. I was literally teaching this myself, and as again, already before I've done intermediate fasting, dry fastings, I knew that the belief that I need food for energy is a is incorrect. That I have access to so many resources within my body and within the energetical field that I can drive upon to sustain life in my vessel. You know, that all of this, like, believes that we need water and liters of water every day, is actually nonsense. That actually flushes away the vitamins and the minerals from your body, unless it's a structured water or like a coconut water that is full of electrolytes. Drinking lots of water is not good for you, because it's literally bland, dead substance. It doesn't do anything for you except washing out the minerals. So, but of course, if you're really clogged up, you probably want to drink a lot of water to, flush it out. So, one, belief system. Really check in. What are your belief system around uh, meat, around you shifting, around clearing, and and so on. Make sure you clear your body um, as a part of shifting to a higher vibrational diet, if that's something that you want. Prepare and educate yourself for detoxification weakness and process that you're going to be going through. Right? Be aware that there are parasites and beings in your body that are governing what you want, what you want to eat, and how do you want to get them out. And yeah, the last reason why I feel people fail is because they don't understand, and they don't, like, first they don't listen, and second they don't understand how to interpret what their body is communicating. So for me, again, this is something that actually drove me onto this path, is my body was communicating. Hey, you're bloated even after 18 hours of fasting. Hey, you're tired. Why you cannot work out if you ate something, right? Um, and why the suddenly cooked food feels off and sluggish, right? I always listen to my body. So if you don't listen to your body and you don't know how to interpret it, and you constantly seek the answers in the external world, it will be extremely challenging for you to actually go through it, because the only answer is you, right? So now, bringing all of this together, how do you move forward? Like, first and foremost, again, me personally, I don't care what you are eating yourself, right? Um, I'm not talking about all the moral reasons now, whether veganism is correct or carnivore. We're not talking about that, right? Because for me, my choice is vegetarianism, and I do strongly believe that this is the best diet for a human being who is devoted to be one of light, to be one of service, higher frequency, experience life of ease and alignment. Not everyone might want this, interested in this, and some people are just living for the pleasure, just to build muscle, and if they are happy with their belief systems that you have to kill a sentient being um, to because they're created as your food for your human or royalty, that's your belief system, right? And my video probably is not gonna change anything in your belief system. But if you're watching, I trust that there's something in you that tells you there gotta be other way, and you're searching for this way, right? So two tips to move forward is one, really know yourself, know who you are, uh, what are your values, what do you want, and know yourself on a physical level. What do you need? What type of eating are you now on? What are the symptoms that your body is communicating? What do you need, right? And this is all the process of inner exploration and inner alchemy. And the most important is your why. Strong emotional why. There's so many people who try to shift because they love animals, but their belief system is telling them you need animals to live. Or their belief system is like there's no enough nutrients in plant food. Like, come on, how a bull or a cow or a horse can be so strong if they're not consuming meat? The thing is, everything is frequency, and it's about amino acids that you're consuming, and the frequency. It's not about the nutrients. Um, it's all one big illusion as well. I can create a separate video on this if you are interested, guys. But yes, you really need to have strong why, because if you're doing it only because the should, there are people who are doing it because of the animals, and they have deep, deep emotional reasoning. They will stick through it. If you are doing it because of the animals, because somebody shamed you into this, and you think you should, but you have no emotional reason, only on a mental level, and the moment the tough moments come of detoxification and clearing, you're going to be out. Let's be real. I've seen it times and times again. So, for me, I didn't do it for the animals. Um, right now, like, I'm aware of all the horrific things that are happening, and I will never contribute to the suffering of sentient beings. And again, as some people tell, our ancestors did it, and yada yada, and like that. Some people are growing on the farms animals, and they're like, well, animals are serving us, whatever. For me, honestly, if you will see animals as a equal sentient beings from a point of unity consciousness, I don't really think there's a moral way to exploit another human, another sentient being. That's my opinion. The thing is, most people see themselves on the pedestal and animals below them, when we're actually not better. If maybe we're in some ways actually worse than them. But so know yourself, emotional reason, and then really, guys, educate yourself. So some helpful information will be the colon cleanse video that I did. I have some fasting videos when I did the dry fast. I'm also gonna link it somewhere here. And it's really all about raising your level of consciousness, because what you eat, to me, straight away shows your level of consciousness, right? There is also 5-day frequency reset, a mini course, intensive mini course that I did on how to reset your frequency on mental, emotional, physical levels. I did it when I created it when I was on a vegan diet, cooked vegan diet. So I created a vegan cookbook as well there. If this is something that piques your interest, I'm gonna link it down below as well. But yes, I do hope that this was helpful for you. Really, in my opinion, there's no one answer on the best diet. It really depends on who you are, what's your journey, what's your why, and most importantly, what are your belief systems, how clogged up your emotions are, how clogged up our physical body. So once you have the reason, the goal, and the reason why you want to shift, and in our alignment to get there, you need to embrace the process. That same as we do the spiritual shadow work and clearing and healing, same thing on the physical body, same. So you gotta embrace the process, and trust me, the life on the other side. And I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I do think we at some point, and maybe I could go birtharian because of how you know it just changes the frequency. It changes the experience of reality in your perception, because we are a direct reflection. Our body is the reflection of what we're putting. So I do choose to put the life force energy into my body, and the vibrancy and the radiance, and I see there's a consequence in my body. I would you will see me, when I was a teenager. You will never recognize me. So, I hope that this was helpful, my loves. Please let me know what you think in the comments, any takeaways, aha moments. If you want me to go into a deeper subject on any of the subjects, please let me know. I would love to share more. This video was kind of the overall, because there's so many pillars and so many components when it comes to shifting your diet, beyond the physical, and your level of consciousness and healing and clearing and so on. So I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in my next video. Lots of love, and talk to you soon. Bye.